Jai Gurudev. Jai Masters. Sometimes it's very, very healthy to just come back to basics. In fact, it's always healthy to come back to basics. We tend to complicate things way too much. What are the basics? Things that you know, not things you believe in, not things you have to think about. Things that you know. That's very easy. You know you exist. Have I got the right crowd? Anybody that doesn't exist that's here? Okay. You know you exist. You know that you're there. How's that? Believe it or not, that's everything. If you could know the one who knows that they know that they're there, there's nothing else to do. So you know that you're there. Where? Where are you? Over there on the picture that you see? No. I'm in here. How about you? I'm in here, and I look out, and I see what's out there. There's in here, and there's out there. I'm in here. Those are the basics. I exist in here. I look out through my senses. I receive in through my senses to see what's going on out there. It's just that simple. All right? So there's a world going on out there. I'm in here, and I experience what comes in through my senses. You need to think that the first thing you wake up in the morning, before you go to bed at night, and during the day. That is what is going on, isn't it? No matter what's going on. I don't care if you're getting married, I don't care if you're getting divorced, I don't care if you're sick, I don't care if you're healthy. That's what's going on. You're in here, and there's a world out there. And you exist, you're conscious, you're aware, and you experience the events that are taking place. But you're in here. Now, where I want to put the emphasis today is really, again, very simple, but is the most important thing of all of life, all of personal growth, all of spiritual growth. So I live in here, and there's a world going on out there. We got that down. What I care about, and I know you're the same, is how I'm doing. We're really very selfish. It's just normal. You're not going to break that. You know, you're aware of yourself, and so you care how you're doing. Anybody want to say, not me, I'm selfless? No. If you are conscious and you're aware of being, then you are caring, aware, have preference about how you're doing. The being, how's the being doing? All right? And since the being lives inside, that's where you are in here, you experience from inside. I'm going to spend a moment with that, because people don't think about that, they don't pay attention to that. They think they experience from outside. That's not true. If you are inside and you just had a really bad argument with somebody, so inside is a mess. They're already gone, the argument's over, but it's not over inside of you. So you do have an inner space in there, don't you? And that inner space is completely different and can be completely independent of what's going on outside. You live in here, and there is a world in here, is there not? A world made of thoughts, a world made of emotions. There's a world in here. So you're conscious of this inner world the same as you're conscious of the outer world. And what you care about is how you're doing. If you just had an argument with somebody outside, inside is in turmoil, it's all upset and so on, then something really, really nice happens outside. Somebody comes up, a little child comes up to you and gives you a rose. Get away from me, kid. What? Right? I'm telling you, it could be bad enough inside that that's what you did. Do you understand that? Let's say you just had a really nice encounter with somebody. You saw a friend you hadn't seen for years, right? Some kid comes up to you and throws something at you, throws a ball at you. Hard. You catch it. Got it. You fling it back. Nice. It's like your attitude inside is determining how you feel about the event that took place outside. I'm just picking examples. You pick your own. Have you noticed that? If you have food the night before that gives you indigestion, and you meet somebody, they may be your soulmate. They may be the perfect person you're supposed to meet. You don't like them at all. Why? Because you have a stomach ache. Because you're not feeling well. Because you're complaining inside. Your inner state affects how you interact with what's going on outside. Eventually you're going to find out, if you pay attention to this, you live inside. And there is a state of being going on in there. Depending upon what that state of being is going to determine how you feel about the events that are unfolding outside of you. It's just that simple. You like somebody. You really like them a lot. Then somebody comes up and tells you something about that person that you didn't know before. Well, I don't understand. It has nothing to do with the person, but it affects inside. It affects your thoughts. It doesn't affect that person. They're the same person before somebody said something to you, aren't they? That didn't change them. Somebody tells you something about 3 years earlier or something, who they used to date or what they did or something like that. That didn't change that person one iota. It didn't change a single thing in the universe except your thought pattern. All of a sudden you don't like them anymore. I'm trying to show you this inner state is very important. There are two worlds you live in. You live in the world inside and you live in the world outside. The outside affects the inside. The outside, when it comes in, can affect your inner state, but your inner state always affects how you interact with the outside. That's all I can tell you. Your inner state is like a veil that the consciousness, your awareness of being, looks through in order to receive and experience what's going on outside. The bottom line of this, because I want to go very deep with this today, is the great folly of humanity is as follows. I want to feel good. I want to feel high. I want to feel happy. I want to feel love. I want to feel enthusiasm. I want to feel excited. I want to feel inspired. When? All the time. If I have to go do something, I want it to be something I can't wait to do. How about you? Oh my God, I get up so early because I want to do it. I can't wait. I get to do this. Wow, that would be nice if that happened every single time, wouldn't it? And if I'm with somebody, I want to feel love and excitement to be with them, and I look forward. Wouldn't that be nice to always look forward to what's happening and always be inspired by what's happening, always be excited about what's happening, and then feel love all the time? Wow, that wouldn't be a bad life, would it? All right? So that's what we all want. That's how we want to live. The folly of humanity is as follows. I have found, as have you, that there are certain things that happen outside that tend to make me feel that way. Not a lot, but there are some, all right? Then the window's pretty small as to what really gets you going and makes you enthused and excited and you run to go do it. You understand that. There aren't that many things in your life that you've been in that situation with. But it's there. It can happen. So I, just like you, have experienced that there are things like that. And so therefore the natural tendency is to say, I need to make those things happen. I need to find those things. I need to make them happen. I need to keep them happening. If I meet somebody who turns me on, I need to make them like me. I need to keep them interested in me. I need to make sure I understand somebody else. In other words, I need to create the situations outside of me that turn me on. But I'm telling you, this is the folly of humanity. This is why you will never be as happy as you could be. Because what you have said is, in order for me to experience these turned on states, I need to get the outside world the way it needs to be so that when it comes into me, it turns me on. I call that indirection. You live inside. The state of enthusiasm, joy, love, happiness is an inner state. It's something you experience inside yourself, isn't it? It's an energy. It's a flow. It's a turn on. It's nice. You know what I'm talking about. It's inside. It's a state inside. Now, what you have just said is, in order for me to feel a state inside myself, you have to do something. Or the weather has to do something, or the job has to do something. It's called indirection. Instead of directly working on my inner state, which we're going to talk about tonight, I got there real early. I have a nice talk tonight. Instead of my directly working on my inner state, since that's what I want, is my inner state to be turned on. You know, the classic is you fall in love with somebody. But they say, I have no money. I don't care. I can live outside in a tent as long as I'm with you. If the inner state is beautiful, you don't care. Where should we eat? Wherever you want. I don't care. I just want to be with you. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's so sweet. I like it. I like it. It just doesn't last. It's not that I don't want you to have that. There's no renunciation. I want you to have that all the time. I'm really greedy for you. I want you to have that all the time. I want you to wake up every single morning all excited that you woke up and that you get to have another day playing around and seeing what's going to happen. And this is how I want you to be. I'm going to teach you how to be this way too. To where it is exciting, it's enthusiastic, it turns you on, you can't wait to experience it. And then when it's over, it was fun that you experienced it, and you're on to the next thing, and you're always up, and you're always high, and it will never be other than that. And it's just, wow. If you're going to be here, why not be here like that? Which one of you don't want to be here like that? That's what you're trying to do. That's why you marry who you marry. That's why you want the career that you want. That's why you keep changing your career, because you can't figure out which one you want. But the net result is that's why everybody does everything. So the first thing that we're talking about is the experience you are trying to experience is an inner state of being. And not one of you don't know what I'm talking about. It is something you feel inside. If you were turned on, you could go into a room by yourself, sit down and giggle for 3 hours. It has nothing to do with the outer state. It has to do with your inner state. If you were turned off, I could give you your favorite meal with your favorite people, and you don't have anything to do with it. If you're turned off enough, if you're depressed and you really get upset, don't forget this. This is the most important thing to remember. And it's just the truth. I exist. I'm conscious. I'm aware. I'm aware of what's going on inside of me first. That's where I live. I live in here. This is my house. If it is beautiful in here, then everything's beautiful. If it's ugly in here, then everything's ugly. And what is happening is I have had experiences, like I said, just like you, that have shown me that when certain events happen outside throughout my life, it makes it feel better inside, or it makes it feel worse inside. Lots of them can make it feel worse, can't they? So I have now devoted my life to this process. I'm coining a term. I'm going to call it indirection, to indirectly deal with my inner state by working with the outer state. I'm not going to fix me. I'm going to change you. I'm going to make it so that every one of you behave the way I want you to when I want you to, so that it makes me feel good. Good luck. How are we doing at that? How's that working out so far? Okay. You even do it with the weather. If it rains tomorrow, I'll die. Oh my God. I planned this party outside. If it rains tomorrow, I'll die. Very good. There you go. So now your entire inner state is dependent upon what the weather is going to do, something you have absolutely no control over. Your entire inner state is depending on whether he talks to her or talks to you, and for how long, and then how close they're standing. You're in big trouble. That's the folly of humanity, is that you handed off the control of your inner state to everybody else. Didn't you? Okay? They all, and they includes the weather and the job, and it's not just people, all of it has to be a certain way and stay that way. Or let's say you don't want it to stay that way. It's boring. Oh my God, you're boring. Why can't you be more interesting? But you said you love me. That was yesterday. I don't know. All I know is it's really hard to stay turned on that way, isn't it? In fact, it's so hard to stay turned on that way that almost every one of you, really almost every one of you, have given up. And you get to a point, and certainly your parents and grandparents have, where all it's about is coping. It's about, can I get by without too much pain? It's not even about getting high. It's not about love. It's not about excitement. It's about not too much pain. It's about having enough energy to get out of the bed in the morning. Not because you're giggling so much, because you're depressed, because you're down. That's when you gave up. All right? In other words, you tried to do it. You tried to get all these people to be the way you needed, whatever it was, and then you realized it wasn't going to work, and little by little you gave up. And now all you want to do is get by without pain. You want to get by without too much trouble. You want to get by without feeling overwhelmed. You want to get by with having enough energy to make it through the day. That's where you end up if you don't listen to me. And I don't want you to end up there. Any of you. You do not have to end up there. You can end up high as a kite all the time. No matter how old you are, no matter how poor you are, no matter how rich you are, no matter what you've done wrong, doesn't make any difference. You just start right now and listen. The folly is that you have handed off the destiny of your state of being to the outside world because you play this game of indirection. So the net result is, to skip to the bottom line, there are two ways that you can be okay. One is you can try to get the outside world to be the way you think it needs to be so that it will end up turning you on. Try to get people to dress the way so you'll love them. Try to get them to drive the car that you like so that you feel comfortable being around them so you can love them. All they have to do is come home with a dented car, and you're the kind of person that's embarrassed around your friends, or something happens and all of a sudden the love goes away. I mean, it's just like, we're weird. It's just as simple as that. We are weird, trying to control everything around us so that we can be okay. There is another way to do this, and that's what we're going to talk about. And it works. If I'm going to tell you a secret, it can't not work. That is to say, I live in here, and my inner state is my responsibility. It's my inner state, so it's my responsibility. If I want to be high in here, then I need to learn how to be high in here.
Just like if I want to play the piano, my boyfriend can't do it. He can play the piano, but that's not me playing the piano. If I'm hungry, I want to eat, my girlfriend can't do it for me. There are certain things you have to do for yourself. They're your thoughts. They're your emotions. It's yours. This is the most important talk anybody will ever give you in your life. This is your inner state. Don't hand it off to somebody else. They don't even know it. How could they fix it? They don't even know it. So what you end up doing is trying to manipulate people, places, and things to be the way you think they need to be because you think it might change your inner state. And you don't even know how you want them to be. You don't even know. If I made a list and they were going to do exactly what they told you to do, you would say, no, it's not working because I had to tell you to do it. That's why we're so weird. And that's why we get so neurotic. And that's why it's so difficult. And that's why it's overwhelming. And that's why we get tired. Because what we have done is transfer the control and the destiny of our inner state to everything around us, that they should be the way we think will turn us on. All right. We've talked enough about that. What is the alternative? There is an alternative. It's a serious alternative. It's a paradigm shift. It's completely different. This is your inner state. It is your responsibility. Well, what is my inner state? It's really not that complicated. There are thoughts being created inside your house in there. Yes or no? They come up. There's thoughts in there. What's in my inner state? I got an apartment in here. I live in here, right? It's an apartment. And there's thoughts in there. And there's thoughts come out of my mind. My mind creates thoughts. I watch it do it. It creates thoughts. It's a thought-creating machine. That's how I want you to look at your mind. It just creates thoughts. Who knows what it's going to say, but it says something all the time. And I have a heart. And my heart creates these feelings. How about yours? It creates these feelings. It just feels embarrassed. It feels scared. It feels love. It feels self-conscious. And these things come out of the heart. They like a spew out of the heart. They emote. They emote out of the heart. And I'm in here, and I live with those things. It's just like in your apartment. There's different things. There's furniture, and there's food, and there's different things in your apartment. There's different things in here. Now, if in your apartment where you live outside, there was nothing but filth and roaches and rats, and you came into the house, and they're running around, how are we doing? I liked your face when I said that. And snakes, too, by the way. All right? Like, ew, I don't want to go home. I don't want to live in here. I don't you don't want to step. All right? It's yicky. It's yicky. It doesn't have to be yicky. You can clean it up. You can make it nicer. It's your responsibility. Don't leave food around. There won't be as many roaches. Don't do this. Don't do that. Get your act together. Clean up. Most of you live reasonably outside, and you don't do a single thing to live reasonably inside. Not a single thing. Except expect somebody else to do it for you. It's so funny when you look at it. Right? You expect somebody else to show up and sweep you off your feet. You expect somebody else to show up and open your heart. It's your heart. You expect somebody to show up and make you feel better. I want you to grow up. I want this talk to be the one that finally wakes you up. You live in there. It's yours. Do some work. There is work you can do so that it's nicer to live in there. You can create a nice environment inside. Why not? You can create a nice environment outside. Why can't you create a nice environment inside? That is the principle of this talk, is that there is work that you can do on yourself to create a nicer environment for you to live in. If you do that, you're going to be a happier person. Why? Because you're living in a nicer environment. Just like if there's no roaches or rats or snakes in the house, you will be a much happier person coming home. Everything, you'll be in a much better mood, everything, all right? All right. So I don't have roaches and snakes in here. I have thoughts and emotions. Well, maybe you need to pay attention to your thoughts and emotions. Why? Because that's what's in there with you, thoughts and emotions. And if your thoughts and emotions are not so nice, and they're in there with you, guess what? You're not going to like it in there. If what your thoughts are doing all day, what's the matter with you? Oh my God, no one would like, he doesn't, of course he doesn't like you. Why would he like you? I don't even like you. That's your thought. Some of your thoughts think like that, don't they? All right? Oh my God, look at that, you had a scratch on the car. You had a scratch on the car. Oh my God, it's a new car. I got this, oh, you idiot, you bungler, you always screw things up. Does anybody's thoughts talk to them like that? I don't want to give this talk. I don't want to give this talk. I always mess it up, right? God, I'll call in sick. I just call in sick. I only missed one class so far. Does anybody have thoughts? It's not going to say exactly that, but does anybody have thoughts that sound like that in there? Did those sound like nice thoughts? Did you like me saying them? You got very uncomfortable when I was talking to you that way. That wasn't a nice way for me to talk, was it? All right, well, what if I talk like that every minute of every second of every day to you? Check it out, because that's what's going on in there. Just watch. Just watch the talk that is coming out of your thoughts. Just the natural while you're taking a shower, while you're driving your car, while you're doing a different thing, right? I mean, sometimes even there's something like, I can't believe you screwed that up so bad. How could you have done that? And it's talking about something that happened 6 years ago. Does anybody do that? Or when you were a kid, right? It just all of a sudden starts giving you a hard time about something that happened when you were little. Answer me the truth. Does anybody's mind do that to them? Right? Well, how in the world are you going to be okay in there if that's what's going on? And has anybody noticed that when your thoughts are doing that, what happens to your heart? Say your thoughts start thinking about the fact your mother died, you didn't get to say you were sorry about whatever it is that the mind is doing the thing about, right? How's your heart feel? Sad. It gets all sad, doesn't it? And so the next thing you know, you have not created a nice environment in there. Or at least your thoughts and your emotions have not created a nice environment for you to live. I don't want you to live in that environment. Let's just do this very personal. I like you. I don't want you to live in that environment. I know that you don't have to live in that environment. Well, what environment would I live in? All right, here goes. Here's your thoughts. Wow, this is going to be fun. This is great. Right, last time I gave a talk, what a mess that was. All right, but I learned a lot. I learned a lot from that. I just saw that I wasn't prepared, and this time I got ready. And so one or two things will happen. That's how your mind should think. One or two things are going to happen. Either it'll be great, it'll be unbelievable, everybody will applaud, or I'll learn something, and I'll do better next time. Both great outcomes. I wonder which one it'll be. I couldn't care less. It's going to be fun. So I want to pay attention, see what it is I can learn, see what's going on. I was like, what if it talked to you like that? How would you like that? It would be a lot nicer, wouldn't it? What about everything you do? You wake up in the morning, and the minute you wake up in the morning, the mind goes, I'm back. Not, oh shit. Excuse me. I'm back. I wonder what will happen today. I got a bonus day. Not everybody gets another day. I got another one. I don't know. Whatever you wanted to say. Wouldn't it be nicer if it said that? It can say whatever you want. They're your thoughts. There's no laws. There's no rules. They haven't made rules yet about your thoughts. God forbid, I don't want to be around when they do, all right? When they learn how to, I assure you they will, all right? But right now, those thoughts are yours, and there's nobody else's. And as long as you don't act them out, there's no laws against them. You can do whatever you want with your thoughts. So if it's true that if you have these negative thoughts and these depressing thoughts and these down thoughts, that the heart will then get tired and heavy and down and closed and so on, and then you don't have enthusiasm, you don't have excitement, you just have, it's like, good again, I got a class again, I got to go on my phone, whatever it is, it's just complaining. Complains a lot, doesn't it? Oh, it's hot. Why does it have to be so hot? Maybe I should get out of Florida, but I like it in Florida. What are you doing? Who are all those people talking in there? And why are they arguing with each other? Does it ever argue with itself in there? No, I shouldn't do it. Yeah, I should do it. No, I don't want to do it. Yeah, you should. No, I shouldn't. But if I don't, but I mean, you should, but you're doing it. Oh, my God. How many of you are in there? It's crowded. Do they pay rent? But the net result is if you will pay attention, you will see it's bananas in there. It is not a nice place to live. If you think it is, you haven't watched. You just pay attention. That's all I'm asking you to do. Just pay attention. You're going to really freak out. You're not going to like me. If you're going to say, I wish I didn't look. Yeah, well, you do want to look. That's like saying, I wish I didn't look at all the roaches and snakes. I just like jumping up in the chairs when I come home. And no, I don't want you to live like that. So if you pay attention and you look, I'm telling you, you're going to see that there is a tremendous amount of negativity, of down talk that is going on in there. Complaining, down talk, negativity, remembering bad things that happened to you, down on yourself, down on everybody else, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it's not just you, right? Let's talk about your relationships. I don't know if you know it or not, but people have trouble with their relationships. Did you know that? I'm talking about close relationships, one-on-one. People have trouble with them. And I wonder why. Watch what happens. You meet somebody. You know what's nice about meeting somebody? You don't not like them yet. So it's like a surprise. This is like a surprise, right? Whoa, you bump into them at Publix, or this happens, or something like that, right? And all of a sudden, you haven't seen them yet. You don't know their habits yet. They haven't said anything you don't like yet. It's like this clean slate. And you were in there being negative about yourself, and all of a sudden you meet this person, and it's like they catch your attention, and they're interesting. And you start feeling attracted to them. You think you're attracted to them. You're attracted to not listening to your junk for a minute. They are distracting your consciousness from yourself. Do you understand that? If you got all the roaches and snakes running around your house, boy, it's nice when you go outside, even if the weather's not so good. Oh, I got to go back in. All right? If it distracts you from the junk you're doing in there, of course you're going to feel more open. And so all of a sudden you're attracted to somebody. Then you get to know them. You get to know them. You get to see they don't put the toilet seat down. You get to see they don't put the top on the toothpaste. You get to see they slurp a little bit when they're at your parents' eating soup. I don't know. We're all different, and that's not okay. But we're all different, darling. Yeah, but your kind of difference is not okay. Right? It's just so cute. They are bound to do something to where those thoughts are going to start saying, "Oh, what did I get myself into? Oh my God, I like she does this or that, he does that, all right, but I don't know. That reminds me of Uncle Charles, and I don't like Uncle Charles at all." You watch it, and then ask me how you expect your relationships to last. You've now done to somebody else what you did to yourself. For a moment, they distracted you from yourself. Now they are causing trouble within yourself. That is not a life I want you living. I told you the life I want you living. Oh boy, I can't wait to go home. This is neat. I wonder what he did this time. It's going to be fun to see. He's so interesting. You don't know what he's going to do. I wonder if he lost his job again. All right, wow. And it's not going to change the outside. You understand that the outside is going to be what it is. I'm telling you, if the outside is what it is, here, I'm going to get this down. I'm going to move on. Ready? I'm going to give you a present. Just going to give you a present. I like you. I'm going to give you a present. Okay? It's going to have a color to it. Sorry, but it's got a color to it. It's a box, something, whatever. It's got a color. Would you rather like the color or not like the color? Which way does it work out better for you? If it's a color you really like, or if it's a color you really don't like? Can you feel the difference there? Right? Listen to me. An event happened outside. It's a color, guys. Why is it that one of them makes you happy? Oh my God, it's exactly the color I like. So how did he know this is so? I love this color. Versus, oh my God, of all the colors in the world, I've never liked that color. One makes you feel good, then it makes you feel bad. Is that the color's fault or is that your fault? You have a bad attitude about the color. It's not a bad color. It's your attitude. Saturn has rings. Pluto doesn't. Is that okay with you? No. I don't like that Saturn has rings. What are you doing? That's like saying, I don't like that color. What is this? So you wake up once and for all and you realize it is my attitude about things that are determining the happiness and joy or suffering of my life. The event is happening outside. My attitude about it determines how my thoughts and my feelings happen about that. And the bottom line, we'll come back to it and move on, is you eventually get to the point where you realize it's my attitude. They're my thoughts. They're my feelings. I need to work on this inner environment. And I'm telling you, you can work on your inner environment. It's not easy, but neither is controlling everything for the rest of your life to make it some way that you don't even know which way it should be. That's really hard. That's why I said you can't lose if you work on yourself. If you work on yourself and do the following. I live in here. Hello, everybody in here. All your thoughts, all your feeling, heart, mind, pay attention. This is my domain. I live in here. This is not going to work. It's not going to work. These thoughts are way too negative. There's way too many negative thoughts. There's way too many things you don't like. There's way too many things you complain about. I'm not happy when you complain. But I don't like it. I appreciate it. I understand. I respect that. You have the right to your opinion. But I live in here. And when you don't like something, my heart closes and I'm not happy. So we need to work on this. We need to develop a reasonable environment. That's what I want you to do. As the purpose of this talk, I want you to commit yourself to saying, I live in here, and I'm going to create a reasonable environment for me to live in here. There, that's all. You want to meditate, meditate. You want to do mantra. You want to sing Christ's name, sing Christ's name. I don't care what you do. Work on your inner environment. All right? Just like you work on anything else. Because if you change your inner environment, you change your life. I gave you the box. It had a certain color. It depressed you to pieces. Before I give you the box, I want you to go in there, work on your environment, and change your mind about the color. Notice what I said, change your mind. You change your mind all the time. Have any of you ever changed your mind? It's easier than changing your clothes. You don't have to do anything. You said, but you said I know I changed my mind. It just changes by itself. I'm encouraging you to change your mind. So if you're going to get this thing and it's green and you wished it was red, but it's green, just spend a little time changing your mind to light green. I like green. The Hulk was green. Green means go. I'm telling you, the mind can be programmed. Why does the mind like red? Why did it get that way? Something happened in your past that left an impression on your mind that red was nice. If the opposite happened, then you wouldn't like red. You didn't really sit down and decide when you were young, what colors do I like? And which ones don't I like? And what people do I like? And what people don't I like? And what weather do I like? No one decided this. They were just experiences you had. You had a bad experience when it was storming one day. Your car skidded. Now you're afraid to drive in the rain. You had a wonderful experience one day. Your car skidded and you met this boy. Oh my God. And now you love to drive in the rain. I'm telling you, that's all that's going on. Not one of you decided what you like or dislike willfully. They were just impressions that were left on you due to experiences that took place. And so if you see this, you start looking at the negativity and the judgments of your mind and all the issues that you're having with your heart because you're so scared that things won't be the way you need them or want them. And then you do this thing called work on yourself. I don't call it meditation. I call it work on yourself. You put aside some time and you develop the awareness of being that you say, if I want to be happy, here's your right attitude. You want a good attitude? If I want to be happy, I'm going to be happy. Nothing has to be a certain way for me to be happy. If I want to feel love, I'm going to feel love. Why? It's mine. Love is something that's inside of me. It's a state of my being. You don't get to affect it. You don't get to affect whether I'm having fun. You don't get to affect whether I'm feeling love. You don't get to affect it. Nah. It is my inner state. Okay? Now, the truth of the matter is, if I succeed in developing an inner state that is pleasant, nice to live with, I'm going to be nice to you. Why? Because I don't need anything from you. I hope that doesn't sound cold. It's not like I'm in a state of need and I need you to be a certain way, and so I need to manipulate you. Nobody likes that. If I'm whole and I feel love and I feel excited and enthused, let's do something. You don't want to? Okay, I'll do it by myself. It doesn't matter. That's where I want you to be. I want you to be self-effulgent. I want you to be whole and complete within yourself. And then share with people. Don't take from people. Somebody asked me last time, well, what about relationships to a person that gets to a high state? They're easy and they're beautiful. Well, why would you be in a relationship? You're always in a relationship with something. What does a relationship mean? I'm here and you're there. We're interacting. That's a relationship. You have a relationship with your car. By the way, how is your relationship with your car? Have you told that you loved it lately? I mean, it's like, what is your relationship with your car? What if you really don't like your car? You don't like what it looks like, you don't like this, it's old, or you bought it new and it wasn't the one you wanted, then it's not fun to get into your car. I will highly advise you developing a nice relationship with your car. Maybe you need to go to a car counselor or something. I don't know. But you have a relationship with your car, you have a relationship with your apartment, you have a relationship with your dog. Net result is you can have whatever relationship you want with everything you interact with. It is true, right? Who says whether you can like your car or not? You, right? It's yours. If you don't like it, then you have a negative experience every time you see it. every time you park it, every time you have to leave it, every time you have to drive with it, you're not having fun. If you do like it, then it's exciting to see, oh, there's my car, right? I really like it. There's my car, I get in and I drive in and I'm having fun. So which would you rather do? When you have your interaction time with your car, would you like to be happy and enthused and turned on and feel excitement and love? Or would you like to feel somewhat depressed and just another thing that bothers you on earth? Since it is your decision, not the car's or anybody else's, this is what I mean by work on yourself. Nobody will talk to you like this. They'll talk to you about how to get a new car, how to figure out what it is that you like and go get a new one and take a night job. It's like, change your inner state to one that is pleasant to live with. Change your apartment to one that you enjoy living in. Clean it up. Decorate it the way you like it. In here, do the same thing. All right? So now you've got the basics. How do you do that? It's not hard. The human being, which you happen to be one, the Homo sapien, the human being, right, happens to be the smartest, most versatile creature created as far as we know in the universe, but certainly on the planet Earth. And if you think that you can train a dog as neat, and you think you can train a monkey as neat, look what humans can do. They can play the piano. They can drive cars. They can fly to the moon. They can make spacecraft out of dirt. They just started off being dirt, and they took it out of the thing and made a spacecraft and flew to Pluto. You guys are brilliant. You guys are brilliant. And are you telling me that you can't teach your mind, the same mind that learned calculus, that learned organic chemistry? It can't learn to like things? It can't learn to say nicer things to you? Train it, just like you would train a dog or train anything else, except you're training a human, and it is very highly capable of being trained. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. You left it alone. Nobody paid attention. It just got programmed by whatever happened to it, whatever environment. Remember Skinner? Man is the sum of his learned experiences. In other words, your mind got programmed by these past experiences you had. Reprogram it. It's an EEPROM. It's reprogrammable. It's not fixed. It's not static. It's dynamic. I'm serious. It gets programmed all the time. Why don't you just do it from inside? That is called mindful living. You are in here. I started this whole conversation with you. You're in there, aren't you? You live in there, don't you? Take control. Don't just leave it to these haphazard things that happen to happen. Why would you leave the happiness of your life or the love or the joy and the enthusiasm you feel in life to whatever happens to happen? So you wake up and you say, I live in here. That's your first thing. Stay mindful of the fact that you are in there. You're always in there. So why would I not be mindful? Because you get lost in all this negativity. You start saying, but what if it isn't like me? What if it didn't like me and I give my heart to him and I get hurt again, like what happened with Arthur, and I don't want to do that again. And all of a sudden, you're not there. You're not there anymore. You're in that. You lost yourself. You lost your sense of self in the thoughts that are coming out of your mind or the feelings coming out of your heart. You know anything about that? Don't do that. If you're going to start cleaning up your house, don't get depressed as you, oh, God, the drapes are so ugly. You have new ones, no, but these are so ugly. Just to look at them, I have no energy. I can't change the drapes because I don't. Oh, my God, aren't you going to sit here and look at how ugly these drapes are? You're not going to get anywhere if you do that. That's what you're doing in there. Don't do that. So if you need to meditate, if you need to do mantra, whatever you need to do to become a conscious human being, what does that mean? I'm in here, and there are these thoughts, and I am in charge. It's my heart, it's my mind, and I'm going to change it. You walk around, it's hot out lately, isn't it, right? It's real 99, 102 degrees, right? And so the mind, it's so hot, I'm tired, it's so hot, I'm sweating. You know what I trained my mind says? There's a star. You know, we have stars at night. You look at them, right? Imagine getting close enough to a star that it burns you. That the star shine coming off the star actually cooks your skin. It turns red. That would be far out, wouldn't it? That's what's happening. That's a star. Don't dare call it the sun. It's not sunshine. It's starshine. It changes everything. And you sit there and realize, I'm so close to a star that from 93 million miles away is burning me. 93 million miles away, and you're complaining about the heat. You should be going, wow. Wow, I'm standing on a planet 93 million miles from a star, and I'm sweating. Why can't your mind say that? Wouldn't that be more fun? I'm telling you, you can train it to do whatever you want. It's a habit. Your thoughts are now habits. That's all they are, just like eating habits or smoking habits or anything else. You work with those pretty good. You change your habits, right? Why don't you change that habit in there? The habit of your thoughts and the habit of your feelings. And you can. You start with your thoughts. First, how do you do it? It's very simple. Learn how to always be there. It's called be conscious, be mindful. I'm here. All the time I'm here. Somebody's driving in front of me too slow. Everything inside of me is going, but I'm there. I'm there knowing I'm letting it get me upset. Guess what? No, thank you. What do? I be mindful. I'm conscious and aware of what my mind is doing. And right now what my mind is doing is self-defeating. Which one of you are going to stand there in the kitchen and let your right hand punch your left arm all by itself? It just starts punching it. Not one of you will let that happen. If it started to happen, you'd call a doctor, you'd do something, I don't know, that you don't get to do that. Yet you let your mind do that to you. You let it create an environment that is so caustic that it ruins your day, it ruins everything. I am highly encouraging you to take control in there, to say, I live in here, I don't care how long it takes, little by little, we are going to change the patterns of what is going on in here. And the nicest way to do that is to say, and I've taught you this before. People say I don't teach techniques. Here's a technique. Have you noticed that when you like something, it makes you happy? Have you noticed when you don't like something, it makes you sad? Learn to like things. There's your technique. Learn to like more things. Why can't you learn to like more things? You can. And so little by little, you practice raising yourself. Literally, it's called raising yourself. So if you start eating something and it's a little bitter and you don't generally like bitter, and you say, ew, it's bitter, I don't like it. Say, I didn't used to like bitter, but they say it's good for the liver. And this is an interesting taste. Maybe I do like bitter. Maybe I do. And wait till you see, everything changes. It's so funny. Your mind learns so fast. It is such a fast learner. It's faster than anything you ever could imagine how fast it learns. If you want to. Now, if you go halfway and say, well, I don't really like it, but Mickey said I should say I do. Oh, I like it. No, I don't. I like it. That's not going to work. But you have to understand, it's not a matter of whether you habitually like it or not. It's a matter of whether you want to change the environment in there. If you want to change the environment more than you care that you have this habit of not liking it, then you're going to say, am I better off not liking this or liking it? It's your house. Make it nice to live in. And so you start doing little things. If you find that you don't like something, and it's really not hurting you, it's just a preference. That's where I draw the line. If you don't like that somebody's hitting you over the head with a shovel, well, that's not what I'm talking about, all right? You're supposed to protect your body and take care of it. Nobody's going to like that. They're not supposed to like that. You're supposed to get out of that condition. But this thing about color and this thing about shape and this thing about somebody else's behavior, you know what I'm saying? Just all these picky you and the temperature. How many things do you not like? Billions. So how do you expect to be happy? And so you sit there and say, I would rather be happy. That's your motto. I'd rather be happy than not like it. How about this? Ready? When you're really mature, you start saying this. I'd rather be happy than get things my way. Oh, that's a bumper sticker for you. I'd rather be happy than get things my way. Because if you limit your happiness to getting things your way, one, you'll be tired, and two, you won't be happy very often. Tired trying to fight with everything to get it your way. I'd rather just be happy anyways. How about you? I'd rather love all the weather. I'd rather like all the people. They're interesting, aren't they? Some of them are very interesting, very different. It's a fascinating thing. You can be like this. And don't say to me, oh, but I'm not like that. Change. Don't let her say that. So this is what it means to work on yourself. It means you're mindful, you're conscious, and what you're conscious of is, I live in here. I want it nice in here. And I'm going to close by telling you there's one big area that's really big that you really need to seriously work on. Somehow, you all humans have developed this really weird habit of collecting bad experiences. Like some people collect teapots or stamps or coins. Not you. You collect every single thing that ever bothered you, and you keep it inside of you, don't you? That's not healthy. That's not going to work. If things are over, let them be over. You know, what happened when you were 6 is not happening anymore. If it's still inside of you, you're not doing something right. It should not be inside of you because it's not happening anymore. It's finished. It's over. Let it be over. Let it all be over. And that's part of working with yourself, is to say, why are these things that were painful, every single thing that was ever painful to you, I mean, the tiniest little thing still bothers you. If anything reminds you of it, your heart goes like this, you get all weird. You're doing that. That's a roach. There's a snake that you have inside of you. Why are you doing that? You can't give me an answer. Learn to not do that. This is part of your learning. So if something happens from the past, comes back up, welcome it. Straight psychology. Just, I'm not pushing that back down there. Welcome it. I don't want it inside of me. I don't want the roach inside of me. Come on out, guys, so I can get you out of here. I don't want to see you and have you run away in the dark. I'm going to have all these rattlesnakes, but we won't have them where you see them. So do you understand? I do not want you storing things that bothered you from the past that are no longer happening inside of you. It's unreasonable to do that. You can't be happy. They're a burden. They're a weight. So I don't care how you do it. Learn to not do that. That's all. You just start practicing. This is what the whole purpose of this talk is. You live in here. This is your environment. Nobody else lives in there. Get it together. Make it nicer. Make a nice place for yourself to live. I like you. You're a nice person. Make a nice place for yourself to live. Wait till you see what it does to your life. Your whole life will change. All your relationship will change. Your relationship to work will change. School. And by the way, you'll become smarter. What do you mean? I mean, literally, if they IQ tested you before you did it and after you did it, they will get a different number. Why? Because you're using your mind. 90% of your mind is doing this junk. You understand that? 90% of your mind is trying to hold everything together and worry about what happened when you were 6 and all that junk's going on in there. If you unburdened yourself from that, you're going to find you're sharper, you're clearer, your memory is better, your intellectual capabilities are better, your creativity is better. Everything becomes more beautiful. Love happens more naturally. Food tastes better. Every single thing. Because you're not busy in there. I mean, all right, same thing. I throw you into your apartment where there are snakes and roaches and creepy crawlies, rats and stuff running around. Want dinner? How's it going to taste? Want a boyfriend come in to visit? Nothing works. That's what's going on inside of you. You have a caustic environment in there. Fix it. Fix it. It's your responsibility, nobody else's. All right? And little by little, you work with all these things I talked about. Start liking little things. Stop complaining about things that are none of your business. And every time you have something from your past that was painful that comes up, welcome it. Kiss it on the forehead. I am so glad you're over. We're done. Been there, done that. Just don't push it back down. You can't hide from something inside of you. That's like I said, it's like pushing the snakes where you don't see them. No, let it go. Learn to let go. So this whole process of being mindful, working with yourself, raising yourself is a every moment of everyday process. And if you will do that, you will grow every single day. And I told you in the beginning, you can't lose at this game. You're investing in yourself. And all of a sudden you start realizing you're getting higher and more beautiful. And then you can help other people instead of needing. You become a whole being. All right. So work on these things. Jagrata.